One could naturally assume after 4,000 hours spent in a game you enjoy, when new updates are brought to your attention, you should probably be excited. Me, on the other hand, when it comes to Funcom, I am never excited. I was wondering how to start this video, and I think we will just start it right here. We'll start it with me sliding all over the place. This has been a bug since 2019. Apparently, when I looked into it, it is something to do with your frame rates not being capped at 60. I have mine capped at 120. If I uncap them, I still slide. If I cap them at 60, I don't slide. As you can see on the screen right now, December 6, 2019, people were bringing this up, and it still has not been fixed, and it's not fixed in this update. I guess it's not important. You know, having your people's characters slide all over the place, it's not a big deal to Funcom, you know. Why fix that? You know, what's the worst that could happen? You know, you slide off a ledge and die, stuff like that. You slide in battle. It's good stuff. Oh, and obviously spoilers right now. I am in the new dungeon, new little event thing that they have for the game. So if you don't want that ruined for you, I would suggest probably clicking off right now. Okay. So you've been warned. But with all the negativity that can be said, the one thing I do like about this dungeon is the ichor farming potential here. After you kill so many spiders, this is the first wave you're going to encounter in this dungeon. It's just spiders. The sorcerer will come out and attack you. His health is lower. It's a tier thing, you know. The first one's lower, the second one's mid-tier to fight all those sorcerers. But if you avoid killing this guy that just spawned behind me and just keep killing spiders, you can just farm this over and over, and you do get the ichor from it. So as long as you avoid killing this guy, the ichor farming potentials here are amazing, especially if you have a group with you. You're in a farm build, they can be in different builds to help you. And even if you didn't want to finish the dungeon with them, you could pop bracelet when they move on to the second wave of enemies and go home with all that ichor and recover your corpse with the amazing magic that has done more harm than good, because it's just enabled cheaters on official and other servers to get more benefit out of this game than before. But we're not going to go there in that one. You know, take advantage of it, because where else are you going to get this many spiders on exiled lands? I mean, if you're on Sipta, you can just do your little glitch with the fluid press, and I'm sure many of you are already aware of that. That's how most people farm their ichor on Sipta. But as long as you don't kill them, you can just farm these spiders, I want to say indefinitely, and they just keep coming. The second wave is going to be lightning. They're going to reanimate these golems, you know, a Frankenstein-esque type thing going on here. The lightning bringing the golems back to life. I'm in admin mode, and I'm just, you know, shift deleting them because I just wanted to get through this. I don't know. I'm not interested in this dungeon. It doesn't bring anything new to the table. They're reusing things we're already used to. I don't have anything positive to really say about it. The golems are tanky and annoying to fight, so have fun with that. But when the sorcerer comes out and you kill him, it moves on to wave 3. But for wave 2, it's just lightning and reanimated golems. You know, little Frankensteins coming at you. But before we move on, I'm not trying to be completely negative. I think it's cool that they're adding new content to the game. It's just, it doesn't feel like new content if you play this game regularly. You know, if you've been playing Conan for years and you have already experienced magic and little magic events, this doesn't feel like it's bringing anything new to the player base. If you're brand new to the game, then enjoy. The next challenge you are faced with is, I guess, similar to what, Call of the Dead, I think it's called, something like that, or the dead rise out of the ground. They make this little maze for you, and you got to go find these things, the obelisk, and destroy them for this round to end. Like I said, nothing new here, nothing, you know, extraordinary. It's stuff we've kind of already done. The effect's kind of cool. The maze is cool. Like what they did with it, the bones and the bodies in it, that's kind of neat. But all in all, it's just, you know, stuff we've already been doing in the open world with events. The last one is the last sorcerer you're going to be fighting. And as you can see, it spawns in a dragon. And that thing's more so there to just annoy you. If you are in here with a thrall, you could just send your thrall at, you know, the sorcerer, and you could just fight this dragon itself or whatever you wanted to do. If you're in there with a team, you just can kite things around. It's nothing extremely difficult to deal with. And the last thing, you know, the guy you're here for, he has 2 health because he's corrupted to all hell at this point because he's a evil son of a bitch. And, you know, you can take his head. And I spent, okay, I thought that you get to complete the event when you get his head. I thought you bring it to Mechmosis or whatever, and then he's going to do the thing because that's what the whole thing is. I guess that's not implemented yet, or that's not going to be a thing. I don't know. I spent over an hour trying to figure out how to do it, and then I came to the conclusion that I can't do it. The last thing I want to touch on is golems. Right now I'm using a crystalline golem, you know, the stuff you're going to need blood crystal for now. Very unique name, by the way. But anyways, the current one I have, I'm pretty sure his torso is brimstone, and then he has a tar leg. As you can see, he's using a sword attachment right now. He only seems to have 1 attack. I spawned in a lot of enemies, and his downfall was the ones with 4,500 health, I guess. But as you can see, the one that is throwing orbs, because his tar that he is releasing creates a nice little explosion. Curious what I could do with that in raiding. Just a little curious. But this thing for PvP purposes is ridiculous. Obviously, just go with the mid-tier one, which is the Iron Golem. You'll have the resources by the time you hit tier 3 to craft one of these up, and you don't have to go farm any ridiculous nonsense like the parts for it, for the crystalline ones, which you would. But right now in this build, I currently do have authority, if I didn't mention that earlier. So he is boosted with his damage, he is outputting. But in a PvP scenario, I think these things could be a bit broken. The gas and stuff that he's emitting and the slowdown effects from it, oh my gosh, it's worse than cripple. It's basically a cripple effect, but it just seems to persist longer. So it just made me wonder if you had someone, or maybe even yourself, was in an archery build, you could take advantage of this. Your team can take advantage of these players that are affected by this. So, you know, if you had a team of 6 people and everyone has a golem following them, they're going to be fun to deal with. Extreme amounts of fun to deal with, because they don't take a lot of damage. You have to slowly trickle it down. So, I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Funcom, I don't understand you. You nerfed thralls into the ground. You know, the things that you have to knock out, put on a wheel, wait a few hours on official for these things to be done. And that's if you have a taskmaster for it. And then you got to clothe the thing. You got to feed it. You got to give it a weapon, and you got to go level it up. And then they are so prone to dying nowadays that you're just going to be out of kit, weapons, armor, food, whatever you put on it, and all that time you spent leveling it up. Nowadays, you can just craft zombies and make yourself a golem, and if the golem dies, sure, people could farm the parts for some more blood crystal, but that's all about you're going to be giving them. So, you know, I don't understand it. Why the hell haven't they adjusted, you know, the time it takes to get a thrall, to break it? Why haven't they adjusted that? This thing does not take that long for me to get. I don't fully understand the direction. I don't fully comprehend. I guess it's because they don't play their own game, so they think, hey, we're adding new content. People are going to be excited for this. But the older content in the game is becoming almost obsolete at this point. Why waste your time on thralls that take forever to level up, unless you're on a private server where the rates are increased, so it's not as bad, and you could just have an iron golem with you to kill things and take care of the PvE land while you farm or do whatever you have to do. And then you can take this thing into PvP. You don't got to worry about clothing it, feeding it, you don't have to worry about leveling it. And it's got great benefits to it that can actually benefit. They can negatively impact you too. You know, the toxic and stuff like that will, you know, negatively affect you. You will be slowed down as well. But, you know, you just send these things at people. If you got a team full of people, this is going to be ridiculous. This is going to be fun to see. It's always fun to see when these updates get released, what Funcom breaks, why they haven't addressed, you know, cheaters on official servers. Even private servers still deal with cheaters. Lots of things that should be addressed before new updates come out, but, you know, I guess they don't care so much about the core game itself. They just want to release as much new content as possible, so we will buy it up. But obviously we got a bench down right here, and I just wanted to show you the cost for crafting the parts for the iron golem, and you can craft the helmet for it. So as you can see, things are relatively cheap for crafting an iron golem. So it's just, to me personally, you want to go for top tier, you go for it. But I would probably just stick with the iron golem, and you can get all the benefits out of it, and you have the capability to craft it. It just seems like a win-win for you. So it's kind of nice. I just, you know, I like this feature. I like them adding these new pets and, you know, like basic thrall, like basically a thrall, a beefed up one at that. But they've completely made thralls so worthless. It's like, why can't you guys just reduce the crafting times on thralls? And the only point you go after for thralls, you know, is for crafters at this point. Fighter thralls are almost utterly useless at this point. So I don't know. That's my opinion on it. I thought before wrapping this up, we could touch on this. So as you can see right here, all the, as you saw, the rates are 1. I wanted to make sure it's official standards, and you can see how fast this thing crafts up. So why would I not just, you know, make these? It's so ridiculous. I don't know. And then for, you know, like the tar legs, you know, you need to tar and stuff like that. You know, the weapon, depending on the weapon, you're gonna need a 2-handed steel sword. You're gonna have to craft the arm, you know, the empty arm. But you can see how easy it is to craft this stuff, and then all I got to do is put it on the bench and summon it, and now I got me something quicker than it would be for a thrall. And from the prices that you'd have to pay for this, the crafting cost, you know, 10 steel reinforcements, 50 alchemical base, and 20 blood crystal with 500 iron bar. You're just gonna be out some iron at the end of the day, because the rest is pretty cheap. I got tons of this stuff lying around. It's like I said, I don't know what they're thinking over there. I'm curious what you guys think about this. You know, what you think about them adding in these new forms of pets and basically things that are better than a thrall, and you lose a lot less from them, yet thralls still take hours to obtain, hours to level up. I don't know. It's always interesting to watch the direction a Funcom is headed. I do hope they, you know, they seem to want to avoid server transfers. They seem to want to avoid actually fixing the cheater situation on officials and even private servers. They don't seem to care. They updated BattleEye, though, in that one last patch we got, you know, updated BattleEye. That it sure worked. I've seen more cheaters on official than before these days. So I don't know. Priorities are obviously about getting money. Like I'm always saying for Funcom, they a business and they want their money. So you know, while we're talking about that, Funcom, could you please fix the fact that I have to log on and then realize, hey, all my ancestral knowledge isn't working, and then I have to exit out of Steam, reload Steam, and then boot back into Conan and hope that my recipes that I paid for show up. You know the stuff you're putting out there that people are paying real money for. Might want to make sure people can actually use them flawlessly and not have to do these weird little tips and tricks just to use the stuff they bought. just a tip, you know, good business. But anyways, I'm done with the video. I don't want to turn it into too much of a rant. I'm giving you guys my honest opinion, and I'm curious about your opinions in the comments, so feel free to leave them. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. I'm always going to keep it honest. I'm going to give my opinion. That is what is beautiful about being a content creator. I'm sharing my opinion. I'm keeping it honest. I'm not here to kiss a company's ass. I'm here to point things out that I notice, and I know many of you do too. And that's why you probably stick with me and watch my content, and I appreciate that. But I'll see you in the next one.